The lobby of Titan Technologies was packed when the first shout cut through the morning rush. "Security! Get this man away from me." Daniel Wright froze. His hand still extended in a quiet offer of respect. The CEO, Miranda Stone, stepped back like his touch was poison. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones lifted. Someone whispered, "Did she really just say that?" Daniel's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed calm. "Miss Stone, we have a 9 a.m. meeting. Check with your assistant." Miranda's laugh was sharp enough to draw blood. "A meeting? With you? Look at yourself. You think I'm shaking hands with this?" A sting ran through Daniel's chest. Old memories of being dismissed, underestimated, erased. He swallowed once, steadying himself, though humiliation pressed hot behind his eyes. The guard reached for him. The crowd leaned in. Miranda raised her voice so everyone could hear. "You don't belong here. Remove him." Cameras recorded everything. And the decision Daniel would make after this moment would change thousands of lives, including hers. What happens next? Subscribe to Canada's Heartfelt Tales and stay with me. The glass doors of Titan Technologies slammed behind Daniel as the guards escorted him into the sunlight. Cameras still pointed from inside. The reflection of flashing phones danced on the marble facade. For a second, everything went silent, the kind of silence that follows humiliation so deep the city noise can't reach it. He drew a slow breath. "I can walk," he told the younger guard. His voice was even, stripped of pride but not of dignity. The older guard nodded, letting him go. Daniel adjusted his collar, lifted the leather portfolio that now carried a fresh scuff across its corner, and stepped into the traffic roar of downtown Los Angeles. Across the street, a woman whispered to her colleague, "That's the guy she yelled at." Someone else murmured, "Whole thing's online already." Daniel's phone buzzed again and again in his pocket, but he didn't check it. He walked until the glass towers thinned into ordinary streets and the sunlight lost its glare. At the curb, his car waited, a rented sedan that looked out of place among the black SUVs of the business district. He sat inside, both hands gripping the wheel though the engine was off. His reflection in the rearview mirror looked calm, but his heartbeat wasn't. "She looked at my hand like it was dirt." He whispered to no one. 6 months of work. 4,500 jobs. And she couldn't even shake my hand. A message blinked on his phone. "Emma, how'd it go, Dad?" He stared at the screen until the letters blurred, then typed, "Meeting postponed. We'll celebrate later. Love you." Across the city, Miranda Stone's laughter still echoed through the upper floors of Titan. "Did you see his face?" she said to the investors beside her. He actually believed he belonged here. Klaus, the older European investor, frowned. "Miranda, that was, how do you say, unnecessary." "Please," she waved him off. "Men like that show up every week pretending to be somebody. Security exists for a reason." None of them noticed that a receptionist had kept recording even after Daniel left. By afternoon, the clip hit social media. The caption read, "CEO refuses to shake stranger's hand, instantly regrets it." Within hours, millions watched Miranda sneer. "You don't belong here." Comment after comment burned through the feed. That stranger is Daniel Wright, the tech billionaire. She just ended her career in 30 seconds. Daniel learned about it only when his CEO Priya called. "Daniel, are you sitting down? I'm driving. Pull over." The video, it's everywhere. "I told you no publicity. This isn't optional, Dan. They know who you are. You're trending worldwide." He closed his eyes. The echo of Miranda's voice, "You don't belong here," turned from insult to headline. That night, his teenage daughter burst into the living room, phone in hand. "Dad, she treated you like trash. Everyone's talking about it." "It's fine, sweetheart. It's not fine. You did nothing wrong." Her eyes were wet with angry disbelief. Behind her, the TV replayed the clip muted, Miranda's lips forming the same hateful words on loop. Daniel muted the world with the remote. Emma, listen. The internet forgets fast. What matters is what we do next. Next. After that. You're not still thinking of helping her company. 4,500 families depend on it. She didn't think of them when she humiliated you. I know, he said quietly. But maybe I can. The following morning the fallout began. Titan's 3 largest clients suspended contracts. The board demanded an emergency meeting. News anchors dissected every frame of the video. Stock tickers bled red. In her glass-walled office, Miranda stared at a spreadsheet collapsing in real time. She hadn't slept. Her phone buzzed non-stop. Reporters, lawyers, her PR team. One notification froze her. Forbes. Daniel Wright, the billionaire who was turned away. The headline sat above his photo, smiling beside the president at a White House Innovation Summit. Her assistant entered trembling. Ms. Stone, it's confirmed. He was here for a $300 million acquisition. Miranda's mouth went dry. That's impossible. It's true. His company was going to buy Titan to save our payroll. Silence. Then a whisper. Oh my God. She dialed his number. Voicemail. Again. 47 calls, all unanswered. By day 3 the board convened. The chairman's voice was ice. Miranda, the brand is collapsing. Clients gone, investors furious. You'll fix this, or we'll replace you. How? She asked, voice small. You'll find him. You'll apologize. In person. Half a continent away in Ohio, Daniel sat in his garage repairing his son's bike when headlights swept across the driveway. His daughter's voice called from inside. Dad, someone's here. He stepped out, wiping grease from his hands. At the end of the driveway stood Miranda Stone. No camera crew, no diamonds, just a wrinkled suit and eyes swollen from sleeplessness. I know you probably want me to leave, she began. But please, 5 minutes. Daniel's face didn't move. 5 minutes. Her words came out halting at first, then cracked open into something real. What I did was unforgivable. I judged you by your clothes, by your quietness. I thought power looked like me. Doesn't. It looked like the man I threw out. Daniel let the silence stretch. 4,500 people work for you. What happens to them when you fall? They lose everything. Then this isn't about forgiveness, he said. It's about responsibility. She looked at him, hopeful. Does that mean you'll? It means I'll consider helping them, not you. But there are conditions. He listed them one by one. A public apology broadcast live, her resignation effective immediately, an independent audit of every discrimination complaint, and $5 million from her own fortune donated to workers' funds. And, he added, you personally call every person Titan ever silenced. Tears blurred the edges of her vision. I'll do it. Good. Because if you don't, this conversation never happened. When she left, Emma stepped from the porch. You're helping her. I'm helping everyone who never had a voice in that building. She doesn't deserve it. No, Daniel said. But they do. The apology aired 2 days later. A sea of reporters. Miranda at the podium. Plain gray dress, trembling hands. I refused a handshake, she said into the microphones. Not because of misunderstanding but because of bias. I looked at a man and decided he wasn't worth respect. I was wrong. Flashbulbs exploded. Questions flew like arrows. Are you resigning? Yes. Are you only apologizing because you got caught? Probably. And that's the problem. People like me only face consequences when the world is watching. For once, she didn't sound rehearsed. Daniel watched from home, silent. The internet was split. Half furious, half astonished. But the employees of Titan, the ones whose jobs hung in the balance, began to hope. 3 weeks later, Daniel returned to Los Angeles. The same lobby, the same revolving doors, but now every eye that met his carried recognition, not contempt. He headed straight for the staff floor, not the executive suite. Hundreds of employees gathered in the conference hall. Daniel stepped onto the stage, no notes, no podium. "Good morning," he began. "You've all seen what happened. You know why I'm here. There will be no layoffs. Not today, not tomorrow. This company survives because of you." The room erupted. Applause, tears, relief that felt almost physical. He continued, "We're starting over. Fair pay, respect, and transparency. The world will judge us by what we build from this." Down front, a woman who'd once stayed silent in that lobby whispered, "He's saving us." Meanwhile, Miranda kept her word. She sat in a modest rented office, calling former employees one by one. Some hung up, others shouted, a few listened. Each conversation chipped away at the image she once hid behind. Late one evening, after her 100th call, she stared at the skyline that used to belong to her. Titan's sign still glowed, but her name no longer sat beside it. For the first time, she understood what her father had meant when he said, "Power without empathy is bankruptcy." 6 months passed. The company's culture changed from fear to purpose. Reports of discrimination dropped to zero. Productivity soared. People laughed in hallways that once echoed only with orders. At a press event announcing Titan's official merger with Wright Industries, Daniel stood beside the new CEO, Robert Chen. Cameras flashed again, but this time for a different reason. A reporter shouted, "Mr. Wright, do you regret forgiving Miranda Stone?" Daniel smiled faintly. "I didn't forgive her. I gave her a chance to prove whether she could change. The rest was up to her." The story could have ended there neatly. But real redemption rarely stays neat. That evening, as the city lights bled into dusk, an email arrived in Daniel's inbox. Subject: From Miranda. She wrote, "I've completed every call. Some forgave me, most didn't. I'm not asking for another chance. I just wanted to thank you for forcing me to see the cost of arrogance. I'm volunteering now, teaching leadership ethics to young founders. It's the first work that feels honest." Daniel read it twice, then closed his laptop without replying. Some things didn't need answers. Weeks later, he visited the Titan campus one last time. The marble lobby still gleamed, but a small framed photograph hung near the entrance. "Two hands meeting in a handshake beneath the words respect is the first deal we sign." He smiled. For the first time since that morning, peace felt real. But as he turned to leave, a voice behind him called, "Mr. Wright." It was Marcus, the older security guard who had let him walk out with dignity months earlier. "Sir, I just wanted to say, thank you for not letting this place die." Daniel extended his hand. Marcus shook it firmly. Cameras clicked again, but this time the flash caught something different: grace instead of scandal. Yet the world hadn't forgotten Miranda entirely. Months later, a leaked document showed she'd used her remaining wealth to start a foundation supporting underprivileged entrepreneurs. When reporters asked why, she simply said, "Because someone once chose mercy when revenge would have been easier." The headline read, "Former CEO rebuilds lives after public fall." Still, the internet never let her escape that one frozen frame, the moment she recoiled from Daniel's hand. It replayed forever, a warning disguised as memory. In his Ohio home, Daniel tucked his son's soccer jersey into the washer while Emma edited a college essay at the kitchen table. The house smelled of pizza and quiet redemption. Priya called from Los Angeles. "You know, Dan, your speech is being taught in management classes now." He laughed softly. "That's ironic." "Why?" "Because I never gave a speech. I just told the truth." He paused. The truth changed everything. Outside, wind stirred the maple leaves. For a long while, Daniel stood by the window, watching the lights blink across the street, thinking about how fragile power looked under daylight, and how beautiful dignity looked in shadow. Then he turned off the lamp and whispered to himself, "Time well spent." Weeks later, Daniel sat alone in the quiet of his workshop, the same place where ideas often began in silence. The chaos had passed, yet something deeper lingered, the understanding that change doesn't start in boardrooms. It begins in small acts of courage no one expects. He turned an old wrench in his hands, the same one he'd used years ago when money was tight and the world refused to see him. That tool had outlasted every insult, every closed door. Tonight, it gleamed again beneath the soft light, steady as his resolve. Outside, a delivery truck slowed at the corner, its side painted with Titan's new logo. Two hands meeting in a quiet symbol of equality. The world hadn't changed overnight, but it was learning. And so was he. For Daniel, power no longer meant ownership or revenge. It meant choosing integrity when no one's watching. Sometimes the loudest victory is silence, the kind that doesn't need applause to echo. He smiled faintly, shut off the light and whispered to himself, "Let's keep building something better." And maybe that's what every story is really about. Not who wins, but who grows. If this story moved you, don't let it fade. Like the video, share it with someone who still believes in second chances. And help Canada's Heartfelt Tales keep bringing real stories that remind us what strength truly looks like. Subscribe now because the next story might change how you see the world.